Initially, I had a lot of people tell me that it's not my time. You're too young. Don't do it now. Let somebody else do it and then try later on in your life. That was a lot of feedback I got from outside my core team of supporters. A lot of people did. I did get that a lot. Now, it wasn't widespread, but it was probably the most common thing, was that you're just too young for right now. The incumbent had been there essentially since 1968. The riding had changed a few times. But he was, I think, 20 or 19 when he first got elected. So in a lot of ways, I was able to use my youth as an advantage and say, look, even the guy I'm running against was very young when he first got elected. So this riding has a history of supporting young people with an idea or vision and willing to work for it. So I had a lot of people telling me then, speaker usually doesn't fall to someone who is young, certainly not someone who, when you think about the speaker in our system, it's usually the last thing people do in the House. It's usually at the end of a career. People either run to become the speaker, or in previous parliaments were appointed the speaker as kind of the last position. There are a few speakers who went on to do other things, cabinet ministers. I think even a few ended up in the Senate. Ajahn Obey ended up being Governor General. So I was unique in that respect, about being a young person with what was hopefully more time ahead of me. So yeah, it definitely had a lot of people saying, wait your turn, let somebody else do it. Here's the thing that a lot of people who try to guess when the perfect time to do something is. I had a lot of people when I was running for leader say, don't do it now. The party's got a tough road back. It's rare in Canadian politics to replace a majority government after just one term. So the odds for the Conservative Party they're going to be challenging. The road ahead is going to take a lot of work. And I did have some people say, don't do it now, wait for a more advantageous time. And the thing I've learned about politics and life in general, it's not just politics, it's whether you've got a shot to start your own business, whether you've got an ability to try out for a team. If you wait for the perfect time, you'll spend most of your time waiting. And I'd prefer to take the approach of, I believe in it now. I believe in this, where we are, and that I can help, and that I can be successful. And if I feel that way, why would I wait? Why not? We need people who always are willing to step up at every moment, and we can't just wait for other people. I don't actually get that a lot outside of Ottawa. I think it's normal for the media here to write a lot of process stories, and if they were the leader of the opposition, here's how they would do it. That's normal. I'm getting a great response as I go out across the country. The fact of the matter is, things have changed in politics in general, all over the world, but especially here in Canada. And some of the old conventions about, a government gets 2 terms, I don't think Canadians necessarily believe that. Every government, every political party has to re-earn the trust of Canadians every election, and nobody's going to vote in the next election saying, oh, there's some convention we have in this country that Prime Minister gets 2 cracks at it, or a party gets 2 terms before. Nobody's going to buy that. Next election, there'll be a competing vision for this country. There'll be a competing set of policies, and there'll be 2 very different leaders. One that has a lot of experience going through the same challenges that every Canadian goes through, and another that is increasingly showing that he's out of touch and has never had to face those challenges. And Canadians are going to be able to choose for themselves. And they're not going to worry about what some professor of political science thinks they should do.